course they wouldn't say that. They don't. I mean, they do list all the ingredients. People are just so too stupid to understand what's inside of it.
Yeah, like, what in the fuck is
Hey, watch your mouth.
benzoate?
Okay, you know what potassium is.
Well, yeah, but ace...
Okay, watch your mouth.
Asulfame potassium? Asulfame.
Yeah, how about you look it up?
There are too many variations of potassium in this damn water.
It's all this pharmakia people
Hold on.
consuming.
1, 2, 3. There are 4 different kinds of potassium in this water.
They don't even need all that, do they? I don't know.
Potassium? Potassium is very important.
I know they add a lot of preservatives and
it's very
things to try and make it taste good, but we just think it tastes.
This is just carbonated with a bit of flavoring. It's the same as water.
It's
soda.
We think it tastes good, but real food actually does taste good.
Wait, what the hell are you doing?
Starting chess.
No, I thought I was gonna go first.
Well, too late now.
Well, yeah, I suppose it is.
Anyway, yeah, so that's what they do. They put
fluoride in the water.
Smells like food, tastes like food, looks like food, but it isn't food. It's just chemistry.
Of course it's not food. It's pharmakia.
Yeah, pharmakia isn't good.
Pharmakia, let me go.
Yeah. If you want to leave the
Elizabeth has a double-plated shock.
Shut up. What?
What?
If you want to leave the system of Babylon, you need to learn how to stop eating pharmakia.
Did someone say Babylon?
Yeah, Babylon is the. Babylon is the system.
Not the system.
Yeah.
If there's anything I despise more than anything, it's systems for sure.
Well, I mean, like, it's the system of mainly controlled by the Catholic Church, run by Hasatan.
I don't like Catholics either.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about Catholics is that most of the people are just like people in our nation are just brainwashed. It's not their fault that they don't know any better. I mean, you have the cardinals and the Jesuits and the actual Pope, who is a Jesuit, Pope Francis, who was a Jesuit priest.
Yeah.
They actually know that they're controlling people, but the other ones are just clueless. They're part of the religion and they think it's true, although there are clearly many contradictions to it. And that's a big problem with Catholicism. They have control in many areas of life. The Jesuits, of course, have started many wars. They've instigated many events. They're responsible for terrorist attacks, and they use people. They make universities like Georgetown and Fordham, and they use the people educated there. Although, Donald Trump was educated at Fordham University, however, and so was Neil Gorsuch, or no, he was at Georgetown, but they're both Jesuit universities. But the thing is that they know that they disagree with many things, because Donald Trump used to have liberal views, but he changed them because he realized how much they hurt America. So he's broken control of the Jesuit control. But the problem is that Donald Trump is not fully, although for the most part he resists the globalists, he still is not completely anti-globalist, and he does not completely understand the problems, because he tries to restrict. Recently in his speech, he was talking about restricting removing the restrictions on the FDA.
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing, because the FDA obviously is responsible for creating pharmakia, and they kill anybody who tries to give an alternate cure, such as the actual cures that Yahuwah gave us, because he allows our body to heal itself. We have an immune system, and it can build up, and it actually works. But the problem is that the problem is that most people don't realize that just eating foods that we're supposed to eat, like fruits, vegetables, nuts, the things that, I mean, it's okay to eat. It's obviously okay to eat some animals, but not like pork or anything, or any anything that wasn't created to be food. Actually, most animals were not created to be food, but most animals were not created to be food. But after Noah's flood, he said we could eat them as long as it was kashrut. So, which is anything that is not poisonous to the body. So
like the Hebrew version of the kosher?
yeah, well, kosher is an Ashkenazi word. It's the Ashkenazi pronunciation of kashrut, which it's the same thing, but it's just a different way of saying it. So yeah, that's. And
So
what else? Donald Trump also changed his opinion on NATO. He said it was obsolete and he didn't really support it anymore. But then he changed his view a few weeks ago when he was, or maybe it was more than a week ago. It was actually at least a month ago.
Yeah, it was more than a week ago that he made.
No, a few weeks ago is what I said, but it was more than a month ago, I think, when Donald Trump made phone calls with the people, the leaders from Europe, like Angela Merkel and what's her name? Whoever is the leader of Theresa May, I think it is. Hold on. So Theresa May and Angela Merkel and I think he talked to Francois Hollande, but he contacted a bunch of leaders in Europe and realized that he should be in NATO, although that is not a very good thing because our participation in NATO is what will. Oh, dang it. If I move, I'm going to have to sacrifice this bishop because if I move, I'm putting my king in check.
I won't move my queen to that. If I move my queen, I'll be sacrificing my king, or my queen.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it against the rules to put your king in check though?
Yep.
So I can't move it anyway.
No.
So this guy has to die.
No, I'm not gonna kill him.
Well, yeah, because if that wouldn't be very.
You weren't in check anyway. I don't know why you moved your king.
No, because I don't know, it was the only move I could make that I could think of.
You could have moved any of your other pieces. I don't know.
What were we talking about?
You were talking about Donald Trump meeting with European
NATO.
leaders. Yeah.
I was talking about NATO. Because NATO, if anything starts a war with Russia, it's going to be NATO. They keep instigating things. It's not. They act like Russia would be easy to defeat, even though they're obviously much more powerful. They won't use nukes, but and we probably won't either. But if a last resort comes, Russia does have more nukes. So
yeah.
Actually, it's about tied because if you think about it. Actually, no. NATO has more. Russia has a stronger military, not in terms of how many troops they have, but in terms of like their tanks and artillery and such. I believe so. And Russia isn't really bad. Everybody acts like it's bad. They try to accuse Russia of everything. Well, Russia is actually doing the right thing in the Middle East, at least, because you have all these.
They're the only ones directly targeting ISIS.
Yeah, people, we hate, or many liberals hate Putin because people like Obama think that in order to defeat ISIS, we need to arm the rebels who are helping ISIS. And, what's his name, Recep Erdogan thinks to defeat ISIS, we should attack the Kurds who are also fighting against ISIS. And other leaders in Europe like Francois Hollande also think that we should defeat ISIS by attacking people who are fighting ISIS or trying to destroy the government or trying to take down the government that's fighting against ISIS. And Putin actually thinks that to defeat ISIS, we need to support the other the nation that's against ISIS, and we also need to target primarily ISIS. So
that's really the only way to do it.
I know. And ISIS is really a problem in the Middle East, but many people don't realize that. And Obama definitely was one of the biggest factors to their rise. That stupid Muslim, he. What did you just? Oh.
I'm just laughing about the stupid Muslim.
Yeah. He was responsible for the Arab Spring, not exactly directly, but he was responsible for the Arab Spring, and what he did was, or because he left he pulled out all the troops from Iraq, and they left like 23 Hummers there and a bunch of other weapons there, and ISIS that's why ISIS sprang out of nowhere, because they just left all the weapons in Iraq and pulled the troops out, and that's why ISIS rose so fast. And that's why we still can't defeat ISIS, because they've gotten so big, primarily due to Obama being an idiot. Actually, he wasn't being an idiot. He's actually being smart, or it's not good smart, but you know what I mean. He's following out the plans of the New World Order, which once for one world religion under Pope Francis. He's trying to unite all the Muslims and the Jews and the Sikhs and the Hindus and the Christians together.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. There aren't really many moves I can make. Whatever. I don't even care if I lose. I'm not even paying attention.
You aren't? All this talk about New World Order really gets you thinking about liberal propaganda brought on by that bastard George Soros.
George Soros?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like talking about George Soros. Did you know George Soros, when he was 13 years old, he turned over hundreds of Jews to the Nazis? Even though his ancestors were supposedly Jews, what they weren't, they were just, they were Jewish, but they were proselytes, they were converts, they were not like ancestors of Jews from Israel, because if they were, he probably would have never done such a thing. But because he's actually Hungarian, he was Hungarian from wherever the Magyars came from. I don't even remember, somewhere in the steppes, but they moved there like a 1,000 years ago, maybe before that. And Czech.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. And George Soros, he turned in hundreds, and then he always starts many things. He's said before that he wants to control the black population. He doesn't like them at all. He acts like he's a good person, but he's responsible for riots like the Ferguson riots and the riots in Ukraine in 2014. He pays for them. He's a billionaire. He pretty much ruined the economy in both Thailand and Malaysia. Sorry. Oh, dang it.
Sorry.
And ruined the economy in both Thailand and Malaysia. Obama probably wouldn't have won his presidency if George Soros wasn't paying for it, and he greatly funded Hillary Clinton's campaign too. He lost over $1 billion with that. He always pays liberal groups to riot and cause problems all across the nation. Is responsible for Black Lives Matter, and he has ties to or controls over 30 different media groups. So he has major control over the U.S. Although he's not the main puppet master, he's actually very low, and he's part of like on the New World Order hierarchy ladder. He's part of the big banks or corporation part, which is above the government, but under like the where should I move? Oh, right here. But under the major. Oh wait, I saw something. Under the central banks and the major think tanks and the United Nations, and which is under the highest groups like the richest families like the Rothschild family and the Vatican, which obviously is at the top. Pope Francis is at the very top, and they use their secret societies like the Jesuits aren't completely secret, but You know what I mean? But they do have secret societies like Opus Dei and Knights of Malta. And although historically Freemasons have had problems with the Catholic Church, they now mostly control the Freemasons. And obviously that's why many Freemasons in the past have been a part, or they took control of the Freemasons after the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt found the Illuminati back in 1776 after the Jesuit Order was suppressed by Pope, whatever, I think it was like Clement the Seventh or something. What? Oh, okay. And let me do this. Wait. You know what? I don't care if that night gets sacrificed. But you're not gonna do it. Dang it! That was a stupid move. I only have 3 pieces on the board. Okay, you're probably gonna win, but I can still try.
You do still have a chance. My king is pretty unprotected.
Where do I go? There's nowhere to go.
There are a few places.
Yeah, but it won't get me anywhere. Guess I could go right here.
You could go right there.
So yeah, and the Illuminati, after they dissipated and after they were suppressed, they and what's it called, they worked with the Freemasons, and they helped what's it called, I can't remember the name of the group, but whatever Maximilian Robespierre was part of, I think it was like called the Mountain or something, and
I can't remember either.
Huh?
I can't remember either. And
they eventually helped the Jesuit Order get refounded, and the Pope put the Pope back into power after Napoleon was defeated or whatever in 1814, and that's when the Freemasons became a part, and that's also when the Jesuits began their conquest to completely change the.
Alex.
What?
Oh, checkmate.
Oh shit. Checkmate? Aw, dang it. Well, you know. Good job. It's like, I'm just kidding. Okay.
That was a good first episode of Just Talk.
Just Talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, this is the black side, right? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Pieces are everywhere. Yeah, let's set the board back. But damn globalists. Think they have control over us. Everybody who's watching this video, remember to resist them. Not physically, but mentally.
Don't give in to their propaganda.
Don't do what they want. They want you to kill each other. They want you to kill them.
Don't believe
I mean,
them.
they don't want you to kill them, but you know what I mean. They want you to kill each other. They want you to die. They want everything to go wrong. They want the traditional style. What are you doing? Don't touch this. Don't touch the camera. They want the traditional way of life to go away, and they want their new world order to come into play. Hey, that rhymes.
Hold on. Don't you want me to move the camera more focused on you so you can get mad?
Oh, dang it. Turn to Yahuwah and Yahushua. Resist the beast system. Resist the lies of the church. Resist the lies of the government, and resist the lies of... Who else lies?
George Soros.
Well, that's
of the corporations and the groups and the banks and
Media.
and the media. Yeah, the media. Well, that's controlled or indirect. That's controlled by the corporations. But you know what I mean. Resist the lies. Do not let them control you. Do not let them give you pharmakia. Do not let them kill you. Do not let them slaughter you. Do not let them put you in camps. Do not let them re-educate you. Do not let them control your mind. Do not let them influence you and your family. Do not let them make your life terrible. Do not let them destroy this nation and this world. And that is all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed us playing chess.